I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm making this video because I've got nothing better to do right now. It was completely unplanned, and there's a mess inside this room, but it's completely off camera, so I don't have to clean it up for the purposes of this video. And you know, lately, I've been thinking about getting back to playing some PSP, some PlayStation Portable, because I've had my PSP, this one right here, look at it. Look at it. So despite the fact that I've had this thing since 2007, you know, that's what, nearly 8 years, there have been several times in which I've just ignored it completely for months at a time, and maybe even once or twice for a year at a time, or maybe even longer. So I thought, hey, you know what, I'm not really playing anything right now, so it'd be nice to get back to showing some love to my PSP because I've had it for so long, and there are a couple of games that I own that I actually haven't played much of, or that I haven't played at all. So with that said, let's take a quick, fun, sort of pointless look at the PSP, just because. I don't have many games for the PSP, despite the fact that I've had it so long. And look at Real Fishing, it's covered in a fine layer of dust. But that's its job, I gave it to it because it sucks. It protects my good games from getting all dusty, at least from the top anyway. Here's a PSP that doesn't work, the one I showed you earlier does. And we also have Vector Man. Sony did with the PlayStation Portable what they can't do today with the PlayStation Vita. Haha, that's right. I went there. I just burned Sony with Sony. In all seriousness though, it's a shame that the PS Vita couldn't get off the ground, especially after the PSP, being the success that it was, paved the way for it. And as I've said before, I've had this system for a good number of years and it still works like a champ. Even though, as you saw, it has its wear and tear because I've had it for so long, and naturally it's gonna get damaged. But as you can see, it turns on with no problem. I got that God of War wallpaper on my system, which I've had for a long time, and I don't plan to change anytime soon. And I actually have that very same game in my PSP right now. There are many great games for the PSP, such as Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, which is Grand Theft Auto on the go. If you like the older games, you'd love this one. And then there are other games such as Midnight Club 3 DUB Edition, which is also great even on the PSP. This game is also available for home consoles of the same era. And then if you want a bit of blood, you have games like Gladiator Begins, which is brutal and awesome, and sometimes a bit repetitive, but it's a great game nonetheless. You also have other games such as Pixel Junk Monsters Deluxe, which is a tower defense game, and it's a very good one. It has an awesome art style, awesome gameplay. What more can you ask for? And then we also have Pirates of the Caribbean, although you can just watch this on Blu-ray or something on DVD on your big screen TV, which is really the way to go, but it looks great even on the PSP. You also have Dragon Ball Z Shin Budokai Another Road, which is an excellent Dragon Ball Z game. For the PSP, it's Budokai on the go. If you like Budokai on consoles, you would like Budokai on the PSP. This is the first PSP game that I ever owned and that I got right after I got my PSP in 2007, and after having it for so long, I can easily tell you that it was the wrong choice. Don't ever choose this game if you're starting to collect for your PSP. It sucks. Everybody gave a big ass-smelling thumb to Real Fishing for the PSP. I actually tried to trade this game away a couple of years ago and the guy wouldn't take it. I would rather play Vector Man. The PlayStation systems have always had great exclusives such as God of War Chains of Olympus for the PSP and God of War Ghost of Sparta, which I haven't even opened. It's still factory sealed, factory wrapped, but I thought I'd show it off in this video because I actually intend to start this tonight, which would be great because I love the God of War games. I love Chains of Olympus despite the fact that it's a very short game, and well, I know I'm gonna love this one too because I played the demo of it many times a couple of years ago. Kratos is mad. This game case that you can see right now is probably the biggest reason why my PSP still works today, because I've had this for as long as I've had my PSP. I got this just a couple days after I got the system, along with Marble Nemesis and the memory stick that I still have and still sometimes use to this day. And whenever I don't use my PSP, I store it in here, so when I go those long periods without even touching it or loving it, this is where it stays. As you can see, It has little compartments for your UMD discs, for your charger, and for other stuff. There's this extra one here, but I just put, whoops, it almost fell down. I just put the cord of the actual charging adapter right there. And there's the compartment for the system itself, and it fits nice and snug in there. You can also take this flap down above, and you can store more stuff in here. And as you can see, I've got some 3DS screen protectors I still haven't used, and I got some warranties for my PS2 from Best Buy from years ago, so those expired already. And you can store more stuff right here. I have the other end of my charging cable and my car charger in here too, which to this day I've never used. But this game case is a reason why my system still works today. And if you want your handhelds to last you a long time, you don't have to necessarily get one of these, but it's definitely the reason for why I can still play my PSP today. And despite the fact that it's GameStop brand and I'm not a big fan of GameStop anymore, this is a good product. And if you ever see a game case for this, for your DS or for any other system, then this type of case really isn't the wrong way to go. Well, as you can see, I love my PlayStation Portable, and if you're a person that enjoys video games and you don't own one today, you should consider doing so because, well, naturally, since it is an older system nowadays, most of its games are dirt cheap. I'm sure you can find many of them in bargain bins, in secondhand stores, shops, or on the internet on Amazon or eBay and websites like those. It's a great system. You should definitely own one if you don't, and that's that. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I am JuanitoShet. I always have been and I always will be. And I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.